lot of chatter right now that the Eagles are down to their top 3 candidates for head coach. Now, if this is true and we could have a coach by early as this weekend, I know the guy I want. Yo, everybody, how you doing? King Dingbat here. So, today we have come with the hell is that? It's a big-ass dog. Dallas still stinks. Everybody doing? King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you guys are doing well. It looks like we're down to the nitty-gritty with the Eagles and hiring a head coach. From everything and all the chatter that we're hearing online, it sounds like the Eagles have their top 3 candidates for head coach, and we possibly could get a coach by as early as this weekend. Now, me personally, I would wait to hire a coach. I would have no problems waiting until after the Super Bowl. I want to try to interview Eric Bieniemy. I want to try to interview Brian DeBall. You only have 2 head coaching vacancies left. I think that at this point, you might as well wait. There are a lot of options on the table. So 2 vacancies, at least 3 or 4 candidates. So if I was the Eagles, I would wait. But it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. It sounds like they have their top 3 candidates, and none of them are named Joe Brady. Joe Brady, me personally, would be a top on my list. Doesn't sound like it. I mean, we heard that he interviewed, hadn't heard much at all after that. So who knows? It looks like the Eagles' top 3 candidates are Josh McDaniels, Nick Sirianni, and Deuce Staley. Now, to me, it is clear where I'm going if I have to choose between those 3 guys, okay? First off, Deuce is really getting a lot of push from a lot of the players. Apparently, they're texting the owner and they're endorsing Deuce Staley. And you gotta love Deuce Staley. I think Deuce Staley would make a great coach. Specifically, if he could get a really good offensive coordinator, a passing coordinator, I think he would do fine. There are questions, however, when it comes to Deuce Staley, that maybe him and Carson wouldn't mesh well. He wants to hold Carson very accountable, and of course, a lot of the chatter and a lot of the rumors out there about Carson is he's not very coachable. I don't know if all this is true. It seems like every time there's a problem with somebody, it's always Carson Wentz's fault. I'm just saying, but I don't know if that's true. But as I've said before, if the Eagles decide to go Deuce Staley, I have no problem with it. I have no issue with it because Deuce has earned it. He has earned that right, okay? If they choose to go another way, I'm okay with that too, depending upon who it is. The other candidate that is in that top 3 is Josh McDaniels. Now, here's the interesting thing. The Eagles met with him for 9 hours. For 9 hours, Howie Roseman seemed like he really liked him. The stories out there right now are that Jeffrey Lurie wasn't that impressed. He was hesitant. And I think a lot of why he is hesitant about Josh McDaniels is some of the things and some of the issues he had with Chip Kelly. He's not very personable. He maybe not a player's coach, maybe not the easiest guy to work with. That's just some of the rumors that are out there about him that have been out there since he was in Denver. I don't know if it's true. I pass no judgment on the guy, other than he screwed us when Frank Reich went to Indianapolis. But I can't tell you if that's true about the guy or not. To me, Josh McDaniels is a guy who was already a coach, went back to Belichick, did great as soon as he went back to Belichick, had Brady all those years. And a lot of people think he's a really smart coach and he's the perfect guy for Carson Wentz and to coach Carson Wentz. I'm not so sure. I mean, he had Tom Brady before that, then Cam Newton. It didn't go all that well with Cam. Like I said, I think that this guy will be either a really good coach or a really bad coach. I don't think there's in between with Josh McDaniels. The other guy, and I got to tell you, the guy that I would choose out of the top 3 is Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni, to me, is a very, very intriguing person, okay? 39 years old, offensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts, which ran an offense that Carson Wentz thrived on, was successful on. I think this guy could be the guy. I think if I had to choose one of these 3 candidates, I would probably go Nick Sirianni. Only because he's been an offensive coordinator before. I like the passing game. I love watching the Indianapolis Colts offense. And I've said this for what, 2 years? That if you watch the Colts, it reminds you exactly of the 2017 Eagles. Now, a lot of that has to do with Frank Reich, but if he's going to take a lot of that and come over, I'm all for it. And apparently, he has met with the Eagles. He met with them for 2 days. Okay, he met with them Tuesday, then again on Wednesday. They were really impressed on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, he met with them, and they were still impressed, especially apparently with the coaching staff that he wants to put together. So right now, if the Eagles had to choose between Josh McDaniels, Deuce Staley, and Nick Sirianni, I would go Nick Sirianni. He would be my hire. I like that. I find that the equivalent of the Giants hiring Joe Judge, right? You have the Cowboys. They take a coach who was already a head coach. Washington, they take a head coach that was already an NFL head coach. Giants, they don't. They take a young kid, a young guy trying to make it in the NFL. I like that. I like the fresh face. I like the newer guys. And let's face it, Eagles have success with young first-time head coaches. Andy Reid and Doug Peterson. They both were successful as Eagles head coaches, first-time jobs. I want to bring Nick Sirianni in. I'm excited about the things I'm hearing about him. Some of the type of offense that he would run and the things that he could do. I think he could be maybe the perfect guy to help Carson Wentz revitalize his career, as well as use Jalen Hurts and develop him. To me, where we're at with the quarterback situation is I'm not handing Carson Wentz the starting job. I'm not handing it to him. I'm not handing it to him. I'm not handing it to Jalen Hurts either. I'm going to tell them both open competition. And here's my issue with Carson Wentz. If I have one of my biggest issues with Carson Wentz isn't all the stuff and the Jeff McClain articles, this, that, and the other. My biggest issue with Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz needs to stop crying about, I want to go somewhere where I can start and stuff like that, and fight for it. Fight for your job. I want to hear Carson Wentz say, I want to fight, and I look forward to the open competition with Jalen Hurts next year to prove that I'm the best quarterback on his team. That's how you win your players over. That's how you get respect. That's how you get respect to your teammates, your coaches, and your fans. That's my biggest issue with Carson Wentz is this whole thing where, I want to get traded or I want to get moved if I don't get my way. That rubs me the wrong way. That's the quickest way to make fans turn on you, loyal fans, people who've liked you in the past, with that kind of attitude. It's the quickest way to get me to turn on you. You got to want to fight for your job. So, doesn't look like the Eagles want to trade him, okay? There's a lot of chatter right now that he's going to go to the Colts, or the Colts could be interested. They might be interested in him because Phillip Rivers is retiring. Drew Brees is retiring. The Saints and Sean Payton would take him in a heartbeat, okay? So, we have to understand that he had a horrible year, that there's a lot of things he has to fix, a lot of attitude changes that he has to make. However, I know the talent's in there. I know it's still in there. I know he still can play. I know he does, but he's got to go fight for it. And trade him to New Orleans, trade him to Indianapolis. I don't think that's going to do a lot to give him a winning attitude, a fighting spirit. So I want to see Carson Wentz fight for his job. I want him to fight for the job. And then I want to go into camp and preseason and all that, and I want to give it to the best guy. I am totally open to the fact that we could go into camp next year and Jalen Hurts beats him out. If he does, so be it. If Hurts earns it, then give it to him. Give it to him. But you got to give it to him with a whole all season, not just the games that we had left on a schedule. So who's going to be the best one of these coaches at developing these quarterbacks, at refixing Carson, and then basically helping Jalen Hurts develop? Who is it going to be? I think it's going to be Nick Sirianni. That's who I would go with. Then if he's off the board, and let's say the Eagles aren't going to go with him, my second choice would be Deuce Staley. Give me Deuce. I'll take Deuce. I think Deuce can maybe get his foot, stick it up Carson's ass, make him a giant salad, maybe put a little vinegar, in that, balsamic vinegar, stay away from the oil, stay away from the fat, Carson, because you got to lose some weight, because you're too heavy. You're too heavy. You get the big woogie face. You know what I mean? You know how he's eating bad because he gets the woogie face. He gets a little pressure. He starts getting the woogie face. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Something About Mary. Carson needs to go on a diet. He needs to get thin. He needs to get healthy like he was in 2019 because he was actually starting to play good and move good. And then, boom, he got fat. You know what I mean? So that's what we need. Deuce will put his foot up his ass. I think he would. I don't know if Carson could take it. Maybe, maybe it's the best thing for Carson. I don't know. But if I had to choose one, it would be Nick Sirianni. 2 would be Deuce Staley. And then 3 would be Josh McDaniels. Now, there are some people that think Josh McDaniels is the perfect choice. I don't know. I'm not sold on him. I have a hard time seeing Josh McDaniels and Howie Roseman working over time. I don't. Now, if Josh McDaniels stands up to Howie, then I'm good. But it's hard for me to imagine. Just something about Josh McDaniels just rubs me the wrong way. Maybe it's the Colts thing. I don't know. If they hire him, so be it. I'll root for him to do good. But right now, Nick Sirianni to me is very, very, very intriguing. Very intriguing. And as far as Carson going to the Colts and things like that, I don't see it happening. But who the hell knows? So that's where we're kind of at right now. It seems like people think that it's really between one of those 3. And McDaniels had the 9-hour interview. Nick Sirianni had a 2-day interview. And to me, based upon everybody that we've interviewed, okay, and if you're not going to give Joe Brady the job, which I would really lean towards that. I like the kid. But if you're not going to give it to him, to me, I'm going Nick Sirianni. But as I said in the beginning of this video, there's no need to rush the coaching search. There's only 2 vacancies. I want to interview Eric Bieniemy. I want to see if I can talk the ball into interviewing after season. So, we'll see. But keep your eyes on it. There may be more news today. I may be doing more videos depending upon what breaks. I got this one out early. A lot of things going on this week. Trying to get a damn house. So we're putting I guess we're reserving, basically buying a lot to have a house built. So we'll see what happens. I got to stay in California 2 more years and I'm the hell out of here. But in the meantime, I might as well make a little bit of equity owning a house. So with that said, take care, talk to you later, and don't be a dingbat.